وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. So this is the source of rahmah. We all will receive rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Sayyidina Abdul ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu's narration appears in Sahih Muslim. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his apartment, Qiraat, was right beside the masjid. So once he came out from his Qiraat and he entered the masjid, and he found two circles, two different circle halaqat was busy with some a'mal in the masjid. One halaqa was busy in making dua, supplication and zikrullah. And the second halaqa was busy learning and teaching, ta'aleem and ta'allum. So Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first he expressed his pleasures looking at both activity taking place in the masjid. He says, "Kilakuma ala khair." Both of these groups are doing the right activity which is connected with the masjid. This is how we need to populate the masjid. And then he decided to sit with the group of those who were busy learning and teaching. And then he mentioned, I have decided to sit with this halaqa because innama wa'istu mu'allima, I was sent to this world as a mu'allim and a teacher. For your benefit, if you get chance, read a kitab, Al-Rasul al-Mu'allim wa Asalibuhu fi al-Ta'lim. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a mu'allim and his methods in teaching. Obviously, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was a prophet of Allah. And again, he has profoundly mentioned in the statement I have just mentioned that he was sent to this world as a mu'allim. So the method of teachings from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they are unique. We need to learn. All of us, we are teachers. One way to other, parents, elders of the community, whether you are sitting specifically in the classes or not, but somehow you have to do this job of teaching people, guiding people, giving instruction to people. So if you try and learn the methods of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you'll be very successful. So this kitab is written by Shaykh Abdul rahmatullahi alayhi. He was from Halab, Sham, born in 1908 and died in 1999. He is the author of many, many books. So this kitab, keep in your mind, always take a mental note. Also, those of the people I was recommending this afternoon, that every time we need to keep ourselves with an intention of talibul ilm. And we will be collecting so many fadail and rewards which is announced by Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the talibul ilm, always make sure that al-ilmu saydun wal-kitabatu lahu qaydun. Talibul ilm's main target is ilm. And if you really want to preserve it for a long, long time, then you must take a notes. Notes are very important for talibul ilm. If you rely on your memory, taking only mental notes, these days memories are getting weaker as well. And if you rely on your memory, al-mahfuzu farra wal-maktubu qarra. Something is written and preserved in your notebook. Whenever you need a reference, you will open the notebook right away, you will get it. So it is important that the talibul ilm must take a note. With these few words of introduction, as I give title to this evening, Umsiyatul Quran. We'll talk further after the recitation. I want to first begin this majlis with the beautiful recitation of some Qur'an. And first, one of the Qari has some commitment and he has to go earlier. And therefore I am calling him first, Brother Zahid Ahmad, Qari Zahid Ahmad. Is he here?
I think he left. He needs to pick up his wife.
Okay, so when he come back, inshallah, because he had some commitment, he wanted to leave first. Let him come back and we'll listen from him. So the next person I'm going to call is Sheikh Mohamed, and he is from India. According to my understanding, he is going to be here for a while in this community, and he is going to lead Salatul Qiyam also at Tarawih, inshallah Aziz. So welcome him and listen his beautiful recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبرأه الله مما قالوا وكان عند الله وجيها يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما صدق الله العظيم.
One quick comment on the recitation. It was beautiful recitation, and Allah must remember that one of the hadiths reported by al-Mu'minin Salama radiyallahu anha, she says, كان صلى الله عليه وسلم يقطع قراءته أي يقف على رؤوس الآيات كلها. مثلا الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. وفي رواية كان صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قرأ قطع. It is important that if you stop, it will be more beautiful for those of the people going through the tadabbur of ayat. It will give them chance to go through understanding the meanings as well. So this is one of the method of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I would like to next call another Qari. Your masjid today is with some of the duyuf and guests. A group of people came all the way from Toronto. Driving was hard or easy? Yeah, if you really like to drive, then there is nothing hard. So, mashallah, they came all the way from Toronto, sparing their time from family and busy schedule and holidays. They are coming and spending time with you in the masjid. Allah accept they're coming here as well. So I was told that one of the brother is a beautiful reciter as well. Abdul Hasib, mashallah. So Qari Abdul Hasib at the chair here, please.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا إنا سنلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا إن ناشئة الليل هي أشد وطئا وأقوم قيلا إن لك في النهار سبحا طويلا واذكر اسم ربك وتبتل إليه تبتيلا رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا وذرني والمكذبين أولي النعمة ومهلهم قليلا إن لدينا أنكالا وجحيما وطعاما ذا غصة وعذابا أليما يوم ترجف الأرض والجبال وكانت الجبال كثيبا مهيلا إنا أرسلنا إليكم رسولا شاهدا عليكم كما أرسلنا إلى فرعون رسولا فعصى فرعون الرسول فأخذناه أخذا وبيلا فكيف تتقون إن كفرتم يوما يجعل الولدان شيبا السماء منفطر به كان وعده مفعولا إن هذه تذكرة فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلثي الليل ونصفه ثلثي الليل ونصفه وثلثه وطائفة والله يقدر الليل والنهار علم أن لن تحصوه فتاب عليكم فاقرؤوا ما تيسر من القرآن علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا وما تقدموا لأنفسكم من خير تجدوه عند الله هو خيرا وأعظم أجرا واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العظيم
ما شاء الله. Beautiful. اللهم زد فزد وبارك فيه. تكبير.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
St. John, beautiful Qari, mashallah. See? All the way from Toronto, he's driving here, mashallah. You did a good job. Allah Azza wa Jalla give you more strength, and so you can read to many, many people and inspire them as well. So everyone, after listening this beautiful recitation, should make an intention that I must try my level best. If I am not, at least I should put all focus on my children. They should learn tajweed, the beautiful art of recitation, and read in this kind of melodious way. So this is beautiful, mashallah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah, brother. Where you come from? No, original.
India.
MashaAllah.
Actually, the brothers are from India. Then somehow, like how it happened is that they are all speaking my same language. They came from same mintaqa where I came from.
This is barakah.
It's barakah.
You brought the barakah with you.
Beautiful. Inshallah, we still want to listen, but we'll see what we can do. It's a beautiful recitation. I think more than anything, if a person listens to Quran, that's the best ever.
MashaAllah.
We should hold a qiyam. It's holiday, everybody should come here.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we have another few qurra in our list. Before I call a qari for the recitation, what is Quran and what is the duty of Hafidh al-Quran or the reciter of Quran? Beautiful poetry in Arabic language about the responsibility of Qari al-Quran. I will ask Hafidh Zakaria to come over here and present this poetry. This is a beautiful poetry, inshallah. First thing is two passages of poetry, inshallah, we'll listen.
InshaAllah.
هل حقا تشتاق إليه هل حقا تشتاق إليه ترجو أن تسقى بيديه أرغم أنف الظلم وقلها هل صليت اليوم عليه هل حقا تشتاق إليه ترجو أن تسقى بيديه أرغم أنف الظلم وقلها هل صليت اليوم عليه نصرا لمكانته غيظا لمحارب سنته رب ارحمنا بشفاعته رب ارحمنا بشفاعته قولوا صلى الله عليه. نور على مر الزمان تألقا وأضاء للدنيا طريقا مشرقا وهدى من الرحمن يهدينا به للصالحات وللمكارم والتقى. هذا كتاب الله أعذب منهل أنعم به من مولد لمن استقى. قد صانه رب العباد بحفظه وحماه حتى لا يضيع ويخلقا. طوبى لمن حفظ الكتاب بصدره فبدا وضيئا كالنجوم تألقا وتمثل القرآن في أخلاقه وفعاله فيه الفؤاد تعلقا وتلاه في جمح الدجى متدبرا والدمع من بين الجفون ترقرقا. هذه صفات الحافظين كتابه حقا فكن بصفاتهم متخلقا. يا حافظ القرآن رتل آيه فالكل أنصت للتلاوة مطرقا. يا حافظ القرآن لست بحافظ حتى تكون لما حفظت مطبقا. ماذا يفيدك أن تسمى حافظا وكتاب ربك في الفؤاد تمزقا. يا أمة القرآن حبل نجاتنا فتمسكي بعراه كي لا نغرقا ولتجمعي حول الكتاب شتاتنا حتى نزيل تناحرا وتفرقا ولتجعليه محاكما في أمرنا وثقي بوعد الله أن يتحققا. يا أمة القرآن حبل نجاتنا فتمسكي بعراه كي لا نغرقا.
Beautiful. So we have now Qari Ilyas, Hyderabadi. Who say Hyderabadi? Qari Ilyas is here.
I saw him. He was here.
Brother Ilham will be, inshallah. You will be? Yes. Okay, Brother Ilham will be, inshallah.
السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى. ألم يجدك يتيما
Brother Usman Ali. Brother Usman Ali.
Where is Ilyas? Ilyas was here.
Usman Ali. Oh, thank you. He's from Palestine. I think it's not, mashallah. Look at the world is in St. John. You need to check back later on which country who is who from.
I'm only going to be reciting a couple of ayahs, not too much, from Surah Al-Ma'idah.
Put it on there. It's perfect.
لكم بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم غير محل الصيد وأنتم حرم إن الله يحكم ما يريد يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تحلوا شعائر الله ولا الشهر الحرام ولا الحدي ولا القلائد ولا أمين بيت الحرام يبتغون فضلا من ربهم ورضوانا وإذا حللتم فاصطادوا ولا يجرمنكم شنعان قوم أو صدوكم عن المسجد الحرام أن تعتدوا وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان واتقوا الله إن الله شديد العقاب حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أحل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنتيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تستقسموا بالأزلام ذلكم فسق اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم فلا تخشوهم واخشون اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا فمن اضطر في مغمسة غير متجانف لإثم فإن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العظيم.
اللهم صل وبارك فيك. So Brother Ilyas is not here. Okay, so before we begin, I am going to speak about Quran inshallah very shortly. And before that, last recitation, I will request Zakaria, Hafidh Zakaria to come. Zakaria is an imam as well in Prince Albert Mosque.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا نحن نزلنا عليك القرآن تنزيلا فاصبر لحكم ربك ولا تطع منهم آثما أو كفورا واذكر اسم ربك بكرة وأصيلا ومن الليل فاسجد له وسبحه ليلا طويلا إن هؤلاء يحبون العاجلة ويذرون وراءهم يوما ثقيلا نحن خلقناهم وشددنا أسرهم وإذا شئنا بدلنا أمثالهم تبديلا إن هذه تذكرة فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله إن الله كان عليما حكيما يدخل من يشاء في رحمته والظالمين أعد لهم عذابا أليما صدق الله العظيم.
Sheikh Abdul Maajid Mubaya. Please have a chair.
ما شاء الله. وجد هنا من سيدنا ما شاء الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا ومن الليل فتهجد به نافلة لك عسى أن يبعثك ربك مقاما محمودا وقل رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا وإذا أنعمنا على الإنسان أعرض ونأى بجانبه وإذا مسه الشر كان يئوسا قل كل يعمل على شاكلته فرب
الله شيخ عبد
So how many of you enjoyed this whole recitation today? I just want to see the hands.
ما شاء الله. Both hands يا شيخ.
Before I begin, I want to ask a question to Brother Hasib. So you born and raised in India, Gujarat? Hyderabad. Oh, sorry, Hyderabad. And secondly, how did you learn Quran? Like, what was the methods? Who is your teacher?
I used to go to him after the Fajr Salah. He used to teach me the 3
And in India?
Yeah.
Mashallah.
And I was around 3 years old. I used to read from that time. And for around 7 to 8 years, he just taught me the rules of Tajweed. All 7 years, he did not teach me anything except the rules of Tajweed. 7 years.
Beautiful. I think your discussion was really beautiful, and it's really inspiring that look, Quran. Actually, anybody makes an effort will get it. Is not, something you can just claim yourself. If you put an effort, you use the same method, how the past generation they have implemented in learning. Inshallah, we'll be able to get it. And I think we should all make an intention tonight that we will try our level best to connect ourselves with the Kitabullah Azza wa Jal. Let me begin, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala afdalil rusuli wa sayyidil mursaleen Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa ashabihi wa atba'ihi wa ahli baytihi ila yawmiddin wa sallama tasliman kathira. Amma ba'd. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا وقال عز وجل اتل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون وقال عز وجل إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور ليوفيهم أجورهم ويزيدهم من فضله إنه غفور شكور. I want to touch a few different things in the light of the verses I have quoted in front of you. And at the end, I want to connect with the topic, responsibility of the parents towards their children and raising them, giving them an understanding, preserving their identity, connecting them with the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, and more specifically with Kitabullah. I want to begin with an opening statement of Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhuma. He says, من أراد العلم فعليه بالقرآن فإن فيه علم الأولين والآخرين. Anyone who would like to acquire ilm, the real ilm, that person has to connect himself, herself with Kitabullah Azza wa Jal. فعليه بالقرآن فإن فيه علم الأولين والآخرين. Ilm which has been given to all of the people in the past, right from Adam alayhi salam, and the ilm which is existing right now and will come till day of judgment. And ilm means authentic ilm, that is all Allah has put it into Quran al-Karim. You will surprise that this Quran is kalam of Allah Azza wa Jal. In the definition we always learn that it is an inseparable quality of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-Quranu huwa al-labzu wal-ma'na jami'a. So the wordings is coming from Allah Azza wa Jal. The meaning is also decided by Allah Azza wa Jal. and to explain and expound those meanings which Allah wanted from the Quran. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was sent, Wahi was revealed to him, and then he has expounded murad and meanings of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is mentioned in the Quran as a risala, as a message. So, the ayah number 1 I quoted in front of you is from Surah Al-Furqan. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. This complaint will be made by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of justice against those of the people who has deserted Quran in their life. They have no connection with Kitab Allah. And if you try and check yourself, I check myself, you check yourself, no pointing fingers. What is my connection with Kitab Allah? Other than when someone is about to pass away, sometimes we cannot even read proper Quran, so we call a Qari or an Imam. He will recite Yasin, so a person's final moments of this dunya goes easily and smoothly. That's what our target. So when person left the world, then we gather together, and I'm not sure in your city here, we do call Khatmul Quran. So now we collect people and then we read Quran. So this is what our connection with Kitabullah Azza wa Jalla. I want you to remain connected with Kitabullah meaningfully. Because this ayah is mentioning the complaint of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which will be made against all of those who are deserting Quran from their life. It will be very serious complaint. Ibn Kathir rahmatullahi alayhi, in his tafsir, he has expounded on a different aqwal. I'll mention only 2 or 3. He says, وَلِهِجْرَانِ الْقُرْآنِ سُوَرٌ. How one disconnect from Quran. So Ibn Kathir says, number 1, if you do not read Quran the way it should be recited, you have already deserted Quran, because you never learn. You never learn, and the end result is that you are not able to read the way it should be recited. Number 2, you are not understanding what is the message of Allah Azza wa Jalla in it, because you have never given time in your life by which you can understand the risala and the message of Allah. Number 3, even sometimes you understand and people bring the clear teaching of Quran to you and you are not prepared to implement. So if you don't implement, that is also a way of deserting Quran from your life. So these are several aqwal Ibn Kathir rahmatullahi alayhi has been mentioned. One of the riwayah also quoted by Ibn Kathir under the tafsir of this ayah, and that is reported by Anas bin Malik radiyallahu anhu. He says Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Man allaqa al-Qur'an. A man who has deserted Quran, he did not learn anything, he did not implement halal, haram mentioned in the Quran. Quran will come on the day of judgment in front of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Quran itself, like first complaint by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the second complaint coming from Quran. Quran will come and Quran will complain against the person and say, Ya Rabbi, inna abdaka hada ittakhadani mahjura. This servant has not given any attention to me lifetime. So this is the complaint from the Quran. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned regarding Quran and shafa'ah of the Quran. الصيام والقرآن يشفعان للعبد يوم القيامة. Quran and a fasting of the person will stand up on the day of judgment and will intercede on behalf of those who used to fast, who used to read, who used to connect themselves with the Kitab Allah. The fast, the sawm will stand up. Whatever way Allah Azza wa Jal will give existence to the fasting, fasting will stand up and fasting will say, Oh Allah, this man, because he was keeping me throughout the day, he kept himself hungry and thirsty. فَشَفِّعْنِي فِيهِ. Oh Allah, accept my shafa'ah on his behalf. And then the Quran will stand up and Quran will say, Oh Allah, this servant of yours, throughout the day he used to remain hungry, thirsty, and throughout the night he used to stand up in Qiyam and Taraweeh and used to listen and read Quran, and because of that, he did not sleep. فَشَفِّعْنِي فِيهِ. Oh Allah, accept my shafa'ah on his behalf. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the end says, فَيُشَفَّعَانِ. Allah will accept the shafa'ah of the Quran and the siyam on behalf of the person on the day of judgment. Allahumma ja'alna minhu. The second verse I quoted was from Surah Al-Ankabut. أُتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ. In this ayah, Allah has mentioned several things. إِقَامَةُ الصَّلَاةِ, ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, and تِلَاوَةُ الْقُرْآنِ. I only want to mention 2 or 3 sentences. And that is mentioned in Tafsir al-Baydawi. Tafsir Baydawi. Mufassir has raised the question. He says Allah is commanding Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam directly, and through him all the reciters of the Quran to read Quran. Utlu ma uhiya ilayka min al-kitab. Why do we read Quran? What is the tilawah for? So Baydawi has mentioned in the tafsir that تحفظا لألفاظه. We recite Quran, so we preserve the kalimat and the letters of the Quran the way it came from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Just now we heard that Quran is the lafz and ma'na jami'an. So the letters and the kalimat of Quran is also need to be preserved the way it came. So when you write Quran, if you know Arabic language, you cannot just randomly use alphabet the way you like. You need to follow a specific rasmul khat, the way Quran is written down. It is an obligation. So people cannot bring any kind of changes in it. So that is number 1. Why do we read Quran? تحفظا لألفاظه. Number 2. تدبرا لمعانيه. We read Quran time and again, repeatedly, many khatmat. So you accumulate reward as well, but while you are going many times, every time you are going through tadabbur and you are expounding in the meanings of Quran. That's the second benefit of reading Quran. The third benefit, تقربا إلى الله. The best method by which one can gain the proximity and nearness of Allah Azza wa Jalla and His qurb is the recitation of Quran. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi, his one of the dream is mentioned. And I don't want you to raise many questions because I don't want to answer at this time any question. But this dream is, I'm just connecting you with the explanation I'm giving you. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi has saw a dream. In his dream he saw Allah Azza wa Jalla. A question, is it possible? Can you see Allah in your dream? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible. In Muqaddamah of Sahih Muslim, there is a narration a lengthy narration. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has seen Allah Azza wa Jalla in his dream multiple times. You must have heard the stories from the authentic ahadith. In explanation of that narration, Imam Muslim has mentioned almost 2-3 pages, various questions and answers. Yes, it's possible. But it does not mean that you are seeing Allah as Allah is. It's impossible. जलवा तेरा मुमकिन नहीं चश्मे बशर से हर एक ने देखा है तुझे अपनी नजर से. Urdu poet says that it is impossible for any human being in this world to see Allah. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he says, Rabbi arini anzur ilayk. Oh Allah, I want to see you. Musa kalimullah. Allah says, قال لن تراني ولكن انظر إلى الجبل فإن استقر مكانه فسوف تراني فلما تجلى ربه إلى الجبل جعله دكا وخر موسى صعقا فلما أفاق قال سبحانك تبت إليك ماذا سبحانك وأنا أول المؤمنين. So Musa alayhi salam accepted, no Allah, you as you said lan tarani is impossible. Nabi Musa cannot see, why myself and I can see? It's not possible. But when you see in the dream, Allah Azza wa Jal comes and guide you if you are pious, you are a man of taqwa, Allah will guide you through some inspiration, some thoughts, some good khayalat. Allah will guide you in your life. And that's what seeing Allah in the dream. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has seen in the dream Allah Azza wa Jal. Tirmidhi, Sunan al-Tirmidhi, Kitab al-Tafsir, اختصام الملأ الأعلى, a lengthy hadith. احتبس عنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات غداة في صلاة الصبح. One morning Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very late. He could not come. But because Imam al-Anbiya was Imam, none of the person had courage to stand up. They were waiting. Imam al-Anbiya was very late. حتى كدنا نتراءى عين الشمس, until we were seeing that sun is about to come and Fajr will be gone. حتى كدنا نتراءى عين الشمس فخرج سريعا. So he came, whatever reason was, he came late and he was fast. He entered the masjid. Looking at Imam al-Anbiya entering the masjid, Muazzin Bilal radiyallahu anhu, he began the iqamah. فثوب للصلاة فصلى لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Imam al-Anbiya began Allahu Akbar. وتجوز في صلاته. He made it very short. So Imam has to be wise as well. Looking at the circumstances, you need to make it shorter. So Imam al-Anbiya has made the salah very short. تجوز في صلاته. فلما سلم, right after salam, he announced, على مصافكم كما أنتم. Everyone remains seated the way you are in your sufuf. And then فأقبل علينا بوجهه. He turned his blessed face towards the congregation. And then he began, he says, أما أني سأحدثكم ما حبسني عنكم الغداء. Now I am going to tell you what was the reason I was late today. He says, إني كنت من الليل. I was awake in the night. وتوضأت وصليت ما قدر لي وتناعست في صلاتي. He says, I made wuzu, I began my qiyam al-layl. While I was praying during the qiyam al-layl, I was feeling heavy. I was overpowered by my sleep. And in the middle of prayer, I see that رأيت رب العزة أمام عيني. I see Allah Azza wa Jalla right in front of me. This is a dream. And then Allah is asking Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Muhammad, tadri fima yaqtasimu al-mala'u al-a'la. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you know in which actions and a'mal of ibad malaika compete with one another so they can take earlier in the court of Allah Azza wa Jalla? Because Allah will be proud of those a'mal. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, La adriya, I don't know. So then Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, I have seen that Allah has placed His palm on my chest. حَتَّى وَجَدْتُ بَرْدَ أَنَامِلِهِ, until I feel the calmness, because Allah has placed His palm on my chest. كَمَا يَلِقُ بِجَلَالِهِ, as it befits to His Majesty. When we see palm of Allah, the qadam of Allah, بَلْ يَدَاهُ مَبْسُوطَتَانِ, these are the things mentioned in the Quran just to bring it closer to the comprehension of human being. But we cannot just think the yadahu mabsutatan means Allah's hand is like my hand and your hand. No. Is as it befits to His Majesty. So I want to make it short. This is the hadith in which Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so agreed, and Allah is coming in His way. So I want to go back to the topic because it will be another part. Taqarruban ila Allah. Why do you read Quran? Because with Quran you will get the very quick qurb of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Afdal dhikri tilawatul Quran. The best of the zikr ever is Quran. Also Allah Azza wa Jalla has mentioned in Hadith Qudsi, Man shaghalahu al-Quran an dhikri wa mas'alati a'taytuhu مثل ما أعطي السائلين وفضل كلام الله تعالى على سائر الكلام كفضل الله تعالى على سائر خلقه. Allah Azza wa Jalla says that those of the people who always remain busy in Quran, either reading, either teaching, either expounding the meaning, reading tafsir, and because of that they have no time to make dua. They don't have time for any zikr, only tilawah. Allah says, this man does not need to make dua. Without he make dua, I will give him what he needs. Because he is busy with my kalam. And similarly, he will get anything more than any other people are doing besides tilawah of Quran. It's because Allah's kalam has superiority over every kalam and every speech. So these are three meanings mentioned by Imam Baydawi rahmatullahi alayh. Why do we read Quran? تحفظا لألفاظه, تدبرا لمعانيه, تقربا إلى الله عز وجل. So these are three meanings. Third ayah I quoted, إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور. By engaging in these a'mal, number one is يتلون كتاب الله, إقامة الصلاة, وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية, spending in the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla openly and discreetly. They are engaged through these a'mal in such a transaction with Allah Azza wa Jalla, لن تبور. This tijara will be always profitable, never see any kind of going away from them the benefit. تجارة لن تبور. So Allah has mentioned these three a'mal, tilawatul Quran, iqamatul salah, and infaq fi sabilillah, in the nominal sentence. And nominal sentence, yesterday I mentioned Jumla Ismiya has a khawas. And one of the khassa of Jumla Ismiya, perpetuality, istimrar, and dawam. And these actions are not one time. Tilawatul Quran, iqamatul salah, infaq fi sabilillah, these a'mal, if you really want to get a profitable business with Allah Azza wa Jal, then remain perpetually busy in these three a'mal. Tilawatul Quran, iqamatul salah, infaq fi sabilillah. I want to move quickly to another hadith of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha narrates, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Al-Mahiru bil-Qur'ani ma'as-safaratil kiramil barara. Those of the people who are expert in recitation of Quran, they will be resurrected with the noble emissaries. وَالَّذِي يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنَ وَيَتَتَعْتَعُ فِيهِ وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ فَلَهُ أَجْرَانِ. A person recites Quran, but because he is not expert. He's trying his level best. So he has to struggle. He get tired in recitation of Quran, implementing the rules of tajweed and proper pronunciation. So while he is trying his level best effort in correct recitation, the moment he get tired, Allah will give him double the reward. One reward when he is getting tired of proper pronunciation, and second reward of the recitation itself. So this is what the ujur and the rewards of the tilawatul Quran mention. Now how you can become an expert reciter of the Quran? We have just heard from our Qari that he was connected with his local Imam. He has given his precious time and he learned the art of recitation and the rules of tajweed from his Imam, and accordingly, mashallah, we all have enjoyed his beautiful recitation. What I want to connect you that any and every person, whatever step and age and phase of the life you are in, if you sincerely take step and you take a right method, you will be able to get it. It's not impossible. You will be able to get it, provided that you are taking a proper method of learning. Like a person want to go to Kaaba, and he take a road going towards India. Where he will reach? He will reach to India, he will not reach to Kaaba. In a similar way, if you really want to get the maximum quick result of learning Quran with the art of recitation, you need to find the proper method. The method which is experienced by many people in the past. And if you go through that method, you'll be able to get it. And therefore I would advise each one of you that Ramadan is coming very close. And Ramadan is the month of Quran. And we realize that if you don't know how to read Quran, if you don't understand Quran, then if a Qari is presenting a beautiful recitation, you will be tired. You will complain to Imam that you are reading too long. It's because you are not understanding. النَّاسُ أَعْدَاءٌ لِمَا جَهِلُوا. People are enemies of those things which they don't know. So the best way to get so much shawq, ladha in the recitation of Quran or listening Quran, understanding the meaning, you need to give everything possible in your life to connect with the Quran. The first step you take is learn Arabic language. And automatically learning Arabic language will take you to the art of recitation. And again I am telling you, the method is, you need to find a proper method. There is a kitab called Warathatul Anbiya. Series of many titles, small booklets and rasail, was produced by Abdul Al-Qasim. He is one of the authors in Saudi. So of those series, one of the booklet is Warathatul Anbiya. It's about 87, 89 pages. And in that kitab, how people in the past, Salafus Salihun, the generation right from the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, early generations of Muslims, how they begin their journey of connecting themselves with the proper authentic ilm. You will find at least 5-6 pages of that kitab is talking about every single person in the past, scholars, they begin their journey of acquiring authentic knowledge by memorization of the Quran. The first thing. In fact, I give you an example. Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani, Tilmid Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, a famous two students of Abu Hanifa. One was Imam Abu Yusuf al-Qadi and second Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani. So Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani, first day he comes to Abu Hanifa. He wanted to join his halaqa. He wanted to get knowledge from him. So Abu Hanifa asked him first question, Hafidh al-Quran. Did you memorize Quran? He says, La, I'm not Hafiz. So he says, there is a condition here, to get admission in my halaqa, you have to be Hafiz al-Quran. Because our discussion always revolves over the Quran and Sunnah. If you are not Hafiz, you are not going to benefit. So Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani قام وغاب 6 أو 7 أيام ثم جاء فقال حفظته. 6 or 7 days he disappears, and then he comes back to Abu Hanifa and he says, I became Hafiz. He became Hafiz in 7 days. Check wherever you go and whatever references you have, internet, you have Google, you have every search engine, you can figure it out. You come back and talk to me. What I'm saying is 100%. In 7 days, Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani became Hafiz al-Quran. So what I'm trying to make a point here, that in past generations, everyone, they begin their journey of learning authentic knowledge, the first step is Quran. And therefore, we need to have a solid halaqat of Quran in our masjid. The best teacher and the strongest halaqat in which our generations are being connected with Kitabullah Azza wa Jalla. Now, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, or I can take you directly the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The teaching of Quran was existing right while Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in their midst. There was a teaching, learning taking place. And also, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu accepted Islam. A madrasa of Quran is taking place in his own home, or the home of the sister, Fatima bint al-Khattab. An appointed Muallim al-Quran by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was teaching Quran to brother-in-law of Umar radiallahu anhu and sister of Umar radiallahu anhu. And then they accepted Islam. This is a famous story. So, teaching and learning Quran, this was a practice right from the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam till today. And therefore we see the beautiful recitation in 2024 sitting in the St. John Masjid. We are enjoying. This cannot happen unless people are preserving the method of pious predecessors and Salafus Salihun, and accordingly they get the best recitation. So let us all make an intention that this masjid, as right in the beginning I made 2 remarks from the words of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He first approved the activity of the masjid by saying Kilakum ala khair. Both groups are doing good. So halaqat of ta'aleem, ta'allum, halaqat of Quran must take place in the masjid. Allah will bring barakat and blessings because of those halaqat of Quran to entire community. And our children, when you will bring them here, number one benefit is that your children will be connected with the house of Allah. They will learn adab and etiquettes, how to come to the house of Allah, how to sit in the halaqat of Quran, how to respect and how to deal with Kitabullah Azza wa Jal, how to memorize. Because Muallim al-Quran, they are not only teaching Quran, they are trying to preserve the identity of the child by giving them proper nurturing and upbringing and tarbiyah. And that's what the Makatib al-Quran or Katatib al-Quran is doing all across the globe. And accordingly, people's mentality is being built. Small articles of faith and adabs and dua, masnoona, all those things are being preserved in the memories of children by those of the muallimin of the Quran teaching in the masajid, teaching in the Katatib al-Quran. Our concern right now, parents raising their children in this part of the world. Now we need to keep their identity strong, keep them connected with the deen of Islam. And that is, you have to establish activities like that in the masjid. Raising pious children and pious offspring, the role of parents both is required. Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi is an example for us. Imam Bukhari, his mother was the most pious woman, mustajab al-da'wat. And the father according to the reports, when he passed away, he left a big amount of wealth. And he also said, after leaving behind this legacy for the child, he says that I do not know that any penny in my leftover is haram. There is no shak in my leftover. So one side, the father's effort to bring the halal livelihood, and the second side, the tarbiyah and nurturing of the mother and her piety. Allah Azza wa Jal has given this ummah a man, Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim al-Bukhari. And that came as a gift by attention of both parents, father and mother. Similarly, you try and look into the many mashayikh and the pious predecessors' life. The major role played in nurturing and upbringing the minds of children, the mother, al-ummu madrasatun, in a'adattaha a'adatta jilan tayyib al-a'waqi. Ahmad Shawqi says that if you prepare one girl, give her proper upbringing, preserve her identity, make her strong Muslimah, teach her all adab and etiquettes of life, and then when time comes, get her married to the right spouse. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Man aala aw takaffala jariyatayn hatta tablugha fa ana wa huwa kahatayn fil jannah." That person and myself in Jannah will be like this. It's because raising girls is you are raising generation. And therefore we need to really make sure that we connect our children with Maajid, halaqat of ta'aleem, halaqat of Quran in a proper way with proper method. I want to end with a statement given by one of the mustashriq, Orientalist. And this is I have read from one of the famous author of Egypt. I forgot his name right now, Dr. So the title he writes, there was a short article. So he says that China, they built a great wall of China. They wanted to protect their country from outside attack. He says, after making this great wall of China, in the first century, 3 times an outsider attacked on China. Now this needs to be checked by you, you go and check it. But this is what written in the article. And then he says that Chinese, they made effort on wall and bricks, but they forgot human being. So what happened is that these people were unable to climb the wall of China and get in there. But there were people, they were not honest and loyal to their country. They opened up the gates and doors. Go in here, give us money. So Chinese forgot to work on human beings, did not make them loyal to their country, and because of that they got 3 attacks in first century. Then further he goes on and quote this mustashriq, he says that إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَهْدِمَ أَيَّ حَضَارَةٍ, if you want to destroy any civilization, فَعَلَيْكَ بِثَلَاثَةِ أُمُورٍ, you can demolish and wipe out entire civilization by using 3 tools. Number 1, عليك بالأم دعها تخجل بأنها ربة البيت. The first thing, you work on the woman. Let her feel shame that what are you doing here? Playing with the children, looking after them, changing the clothes of the children. No, you are genius, you should go out and work out there, shoulder to shoulder. So the women are taken out, they did not give tarbiyah to the children. What will happen? The generation is gone. Generation is going to the babysitter's home, they come back in the evening, dead tired, they could not recognize mom and dad. This is the reality. So number one is and number two, alayka bil muallim, qallil sha'na. Muallim, who is looking after your children's education. Whether it's a secular education, whether it's a Sharia education, both. Muallim is something very important. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu says, expressing the great rank of Muallim, man allamani harfan fahuwa mawlaya, in sha'a ba'ani wa in sha'a a'taqani. Because at that time there was a concept of slavery. So he says, expressing the high rank of Muallim, whoever has taught me one letter of knowledge, he became my master and I become his slave. He has full authority over me, he can set me free or he can keep me as a slave under him. This is the rank of Muallim. Now how we treat Muallimin these days, we know with our own eyes. We don't give value to Muallimin. And if you don't give Muallimin value, if you don't respect them, what will happen? They will, squeeze their anger within themselves. They will not mention to nobody. But when your children goes, they are not going to pay attention. Oh, this is the father, he was swearing at me. I don't care. So 8 hours your child go to Muallimin's hand. And most of the time your child remains in the home. If mom is not there, if Muallim is not paying attention, the generation is gone. So alayka bil Muallim, alayka bil and the third he says, isqatul qudwa, role models. Expose their private life, their problems, their issues. And people will, talk like openly and publicly. They don't think about what they are doing and how they are damaging. If there will be no qudwat left, then the train will remain without engine. And this is what is happening to Ummah right now. They are not listening to nobody. Everybody is mufti, everybody is muallim, everybody is khatib, and everybody is faqih. There is nobody whom we consider that this is my authority, I should go and consult him. I take permission from him. So these are 3 tools Orientalists mention, that mother, muallim, and qudwa, the role models. If you are not mindful of these 3 things, automatically your civilization will be gone. So let us all together collectively think. This is a small town where you can spare your time easily. People are busy in a bigger town. 2 hours they are spending on the road. But here in small town, you can easily come back home very quickly, and you don't have so much traffic, and then a beautiful masjid you have it. You should set up a time where your children come, learn, study, play here, pray here. And same time while you are bringing your children, you will be also automatically coming, because you have to bring your child and take him back or take them back. So accordingly, the parents will come, parents will remain connected with the masjid, children will remain connected with the masjid, beautiful environment will be created in the masjid, and this is how the masajid will be populated. Allah grant us all the tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.